Alright, so in the last video we actually made this custom alert view controller. So we added all those elements that we needed for our controller, and those are the title label, the message, the button, and the container itself. Now that this is done, what we can do is that we can move on and create a custom alert file. Basically, if we just go inside our main view model, you notice this one thing, that we are making a lot of API calls here. What is happening is that for every API call, the alert should be different, because some API calls are for signing out, some are for fetching users, fetching posts, following each other. So those cases are different, and you cannot just show a generic error for all of these, right? So what we could do is that we could use enums, and then we can list down all the cases where we need an alert, and then we can give them a message specific to their case. So that way we could just utilize all those cases, and each time our functions are called, either in their success or in their error, we would have a custom alert to show to the user, so that they could know that what specifically is not working or what specifically went right, and we have success in what case. So for that purpose, let's just go inside the custom folder, do command N. We can select a Swift file. Let's name this app error. You could think of a more creative name, but I just thought that this could work very fine. We can do UIKit here. Now what we can do is that we can just create an enum, and this enum would be app error. Now we can list down all of the cases that we need here, and don't mind these extra spaces. I was just thinking to import Swift UI as well, but now that I think about it, we don't really need it here. So what we can do is that we can list down all the cases. So a case would be login failed. Then there would be case like registration failed. And similarly, we would have to list all of them down. So it would be failed to update profile picture. Then there would be a case to failed to fetch user posts, case for failed to fetch users. Now let me just quickly type in users, and similarly we would have to add it for all of those API calls. So it would be like 6-7 cases for failed cases, and then we would have few success cases as well, in terms of making a successful post publish. So that way we could show the user being responsive that, hey, you have just made a post. So yeah, we can go along with that. So let's just do case failed to fetch user info. In case it ever happens, then it could be failed to fetch home feed. Home feed is something that we are yet to complete. It's not exactly done right now, so we would soon complete this as well. Fail to follow user is one more feature, so let's just add that. Now we would have failed to unfollow user, and then the last case should be failed to sign out. Some of these cases are highly unlikely to happen, but still we should keep ourselves prepared with that. Now you notice that since we have added all of these, what we need to do is that inside the enum itself, we need to create a variable message, so that we can just access it like something like, let me just go ahead and show you, app error dot login failed dot message. Now I was thinking that since we have a message property, and we would need to do a switch statement for all of them, so let's just go about adding, let me just remove this for now. We can do a switch on self, and that way we would need to add that message property for all of them. And it could be a case that you can miss either of them in the process. So how about we just create a handy protocol. Basically this protocol states that whatever type, let's just do protocol capital P presentable error, and this would include a variable message which would be of the type string, and it would be a get property. So now what we could do is that we can conform this to type presentable error. What happens is that now it says Swift must be exhaustive. So let's just add them here. And now it lets us add all the cases for which we need the messages. Now let's just quickly add two cases for success as well. So there should be a case when upload post is successful. So that is what we are doing here. Then we can add a case where upload profile picture is successful. So there also we would need actually case. Now it says Swift must be exhaustive, so let's just fix this, and it adds automatically whatever message, whatever cases are left. So now what we can do here, we can return a message which would be login failed, please check your internet connection. And what we can do is that we can throw this message literally everywhere, but each time we change the text which is preceding. So this is there, this is there. For this we would say upload post was successful, so this is there. And we can do upload profile image was successful. Now here we can have registration failed. Just hang it with me, it would really take some time. Registration failed. It should have update profile picture failed. Then this should have failed to fetch users posts. Then we can have failed to fetch users, failed to fetch users. Here we can have failed to fetch user info. Here we can have failed to fetch home feed. Here we can have failed to follow the user, and we can have failed to unfollow the user, and this last one would be failed to sign out. So this is there, and we can just remove it here. Obviously these errors can be because of different cases, but we are assuming and showing it to the user that there's something wrong with their internet connection, so that they could try again. And obviously if there's some bug in the app, then sooner or later we would find out only. So that is there. Now what we could do is that we can use another, we can just add a public function here, and we should call it present alert. And this present alert will take in a view controller, and it would be of the type UI view controller, which would be optional, and we can give it some value. So it should be UI application dot top view controller, and we can open parentheses here. Now we can take in a title, and this could be of the type string, and then we can take in a button color, because like I told you, there could be success cases and there could be error cases. So in case of error we simply used red, but in case of success we use green. So now we could make use of our haptics helper class, and simply we could call in the error scenario. So that is what we are doing here. Let's create alert view controller, and we would use our custom alert view controller. Custom alert view controller has its own initializer. For the alert message would be title, and there is no actual title here. So I'm just thinking that what we could do, Or maybe what we can do is that we have a title thing, we have message, we have button color, and we have again a button color which is for two different places. My bad, there should be an OK here. Now that we have created this, we use alert view controller dot modal presentation style. So this should be over full screen. Then we can use alert view controller and set the transition style, and this should be cross dissolve. This is fine. Now what we can do is that we can use dispatch queue dot main dot async, and inside of here we could use view controller dot present, and we would use our alert view controller here, and animated should be true, so this is there. What we can do is that we can add an extension to our UI view controller, because right now there is nothing as such a top view controller. So right here, let's just add an extension, or maybe we can just remove this here, and we can go inside extensions. Inside extensions, let's create a new file. It would be a Swift file, UI view controller plus ext. So this is there. Let's click on enter. What we do is that we write an extension which would be UI view controller, and then we can add this on UI application instead, and here we would write a class function which would be top view controller, and what this function will do is that it would return us a top view controller. So the top view controller basically means the main base view controller, and the controller should be UI view controller optional UI application dot shared dot windows dot first. Basically this is there, and we need to filter through here, and we would use $0 dot is key window, which is a UIKit property, and then we can use dot root view controller on top of it. So this way we would get our this way we can get our UI view controller, which is the main view controller, and that can present our alert box. So right now it's asked us that we are missing a return type. This is fine, we'll just quickly fix this. If let navigation controller equals controller as a UI navigation controller, what we can do is that we can return simply top view controller with a controller which would be navigation controller dot visible view controller basically. And if that is not the case, we could do if let tab controller. So we are basically checking for the different scenarios in which one could be our main view controller, which we have to show for in order to present the alert box. So this is there. We can do if let selected is equal to tab controller dot selected view controller, which is a property on tab view controller. We can just return top view controller with a controller, and that would be selected. So this is there. Now what we can do is that we can check if let presented. So this could be shown within a tab view, this could be shown within a navigation view, this could be shown with a presented sheet. So that is what we are going for here, and then we can select presented view controller. Here we would just simply return top view controller with a controller, and that would be presented. So this is there, and then we can just simply return controller, and this seems fine. So this was the extension that we needed. Now that this is done, what we can do is that we can just go back inside our error file, and this time it should ideally just work. So there we go, we have successfully written our error file. And now let's just we need to make some changes inside our view model. So let's just go inside our main view model. We'll just go inside the sign out function. What happens is that now inside the sign out function, just below the do block, we start with overlay, which is also one of the files that we have added. We start to show a loader, then we use haptics helper, and we actually use the haptics medium button tab. So you could see inside this file there are different feedbacks listed out. So you could select the one you need. So there's one for cell tap, light button tap, warning, error, success. So that is what we are going for here. Now inside auth we see these values, this is fine. Now what we can do that since it's in the do block, we can do hide loader. So this is what we're going to do. Now inside the catch also, let's do hide loader because we don't want to just keep on loading in case there's an error. And here we can use a dispatch queue. So dispatch queue dot main dot async, and inside of here we could use our app error now. So app error would actually use fail to sign out, then we can use present alert on top of it, and the title would be error, the message is already provided, and the button color would be dot red. So this is there. Similarly, we would actually need to add it at plenty of places. So for example, in sign in, we would need to add this show loader and medium tab. So let's just do that. Inside the do block, we would actually just hide it out. So this is fine. Inside the catch block also, we would just hide it out. So we can do it here. And what else do we need to do? So we no longer need to use self.handle auth error, and we can just simply use this one. And I think hide loader needs not to be inside dispatch queue, so that is fine. We open a dispatch queue, we go here, we press here, we use failed to, okay, so have we not added login failed or something? Let's just select login failed is there, error seems fine, this all looks fine. We can remove this extra dispatch queue. So this is there, and our sign in function is also completed. I don't think so we have added in both do and catch blocks, so this seems fine. So now what we can do is that we can go inside sign up user, and now we will do something similar. We'll add it here. Overlay hide loader will go inside both the dispatch queue and the catch statement, and instead of this, what we can do is that we can copy paste this, and we can add registration failed. So this all works fine. Now we just need to make sure that we do it everywhere. So basically we should have update profile photo. So update profile, okay, this is not coming up, so let's just search for upload profile photo. Yeah, this is there. Now what we do here is that we add the same overlay dot show loader plus medium haptics, and then inside the do statement we do overlay dot hide loader. Similarly here we would do something like overlay dot hide loader. We would open a dispatch queue. So let's just wait for it. Dispatch queue is here. Main dot async, not async after but async. Now we can open this up. We can remove these two lines now, and what we can do is that we can add app error dot fail to update profile picture dot present alert. This would be error, and for the button color it would be red. So yeah, this is there. Now let's just see that, okay, this function is done, hide loader is at both places, this works fine. Let's just go inside our fetch database users. So let's just search for fetch all database, or maybe I think the function name is fetch database users. I think we wanted to fetch all the users, so it should be fetch database users. Here we can just add these two lines of code, Then inside the dispatch queue we can do overlay dot hide loader. Inside the catch statement that we can do is overlay dot hide loader. What we would do is that we would copy this thing out, remove this thing from here. We would add error, but this time it would be failed to fetch users. This is there. So yeah, this also seems fine. Hide loader is at both places. Now what we need to do is that we would go to fetch user posts basically, and fetch user post would actually have overlay dot show loader. Then it would have haptics helper dot medium button tab. Now inside the do block we would do is overlay dot hide loader, and here we would do overlay dot hide loader. Similarly, we just need to update all of the functions, so that is what we are going to do now. Dispatch queue queue dot main dot async, and inside of here we could use app error. App error is here. Then we can do fail to fetch user post is there. Now we can do present alert. The title should be error and the button color should be red. So this is what we are doing here. This seems fine. What functionality is left? We don't have fetch post for home feed right now, so that is what we are going to do in a while, so we can wait for it. We have fetch user followers, so we can go to fetch user followers. So fetch user follower will start with overlay dot show loader, then it would have haptics helper, and it would take in medium button tab. There inside we would have overlay dot hide loader, and inside of here as well we would have overlay dot hide loader. Let's open a dispatch queue. This would open up like this. The catch statement is this, the task is this. Okay, this seems fine. We can use an app error basically here. Now we could use fail to fetch. Okay, so we don't have any we could use the same fail to fetch users actually, and we can present, because I don't particularly want to add a specific case for followers. So let's just see. We don't have we do have for follow user and unfollow user, but we don't have this for this thing. So we can do fetch user following, and fetch user following is here. What we can do is do the same overlay dot show loader. Then we could have haptics helper dot medium button tab. Inside of here we do overlay dot hide loader. Then similarly here we would have overlay dot hide loader. This is fine. We copy this dispatch queue line, we paste it instead of here. Now we add this. Now inside of here we would use app error. Let's do app error. Then we would have to do failed to fetch. This should be following or something. Following, fail to, I guess fetch user following should not have. Fetch user followers is also there, so we could actually do this same line here as well. This is fine, but I think we need to add this for unfollow and follow user. So unfollow and unfollow user is this, so we can add overlay dot show loader. Then what we could do is that we could use haptics helper, then we can have medium button tab, and then inside of here we can do overlay dot hide loader. Inside of here what we can do is overlay dot hide loader, and then instead of this print statement we can open a dispatch queue dot main dot async, which would actually use our app error, and it should be unfollow dot present alert. This should be an error, and let's make the E capital, and the color should be red. This is fine. And what we can do is that now that we have this, we can actually go inside our fetch user data if it's still left. Let's check fetch user data, and I guess we have not added this here, so okay, we would use overlay dot show loader, then we would have haptics helper, then we would use a medium button tab here. Now what we would do is go inside here, overlay dot hide loader. Here also we would add overlay dot hide loader. Inside of here we remove this, we add a dispatch queue dot main dot async. So this is fine. Now inside of here we do app error. Basically this should be fetch user something. So do we not, okay, we have failed to fetch user info, present alert. This should be error and the button color should be red. So this is fine. Now what we can do is that we can go inside follow. So handle follow user is here, and I think handle follow handles it perfectly. So overlay dot show loader, haptics helper dot medium button tab is there. Now we use this same thing, but instead here we would actually have hide loader, and similarly here also we would have hide loader. We can remove this, we can add a dispatch queue dot main dot async, and inside of here we could use app error, and app error will make use of follow. So fail to follow user dot present alert, title would be error and the button color should be red. So this is there. Which function is still left? We do have upload image, create create post. We could do this. We have upload image and create post. So what we can do is that after doing the guard, or we can add an overlay dot show loader here with a haptics helper dot medium button tab. Now inside the do block, what we can do is that we can just add overlay dot hide loader. Here also we can add overlay dot hide loader, and instead of all of this, what we can do is that we can open a dispatch queue, and this dispatch queue dot main dot async, just like the other ones, it would have an app error, and this app error would actually check for publish post or something, failed upload post successful we have, but we don't have a failure case here. So what we can do is that we can add one case also. Basically let's call it success, call the button green, and we can just copy this thing out, paste this here, remove this here, this is there. We can close the loader beforehand, and then we can add case upload post failed. So this is there. I don't think so we have a case for this, so we can copy this, fix this, we can copy this up, and we can say upload post failed, and we can use this upload post value here, and we can paste this here. This should be an error, and this should be red instead of green. So this is fine. Now what we can do is that we will utilize these alerts. So let's just try how does it look on our actual app now, and then we can move forward to make the home feed view. And once the home feed view is done, particularly we can make some minor improvements that are needed, and then we can finally move on to adding some in-app purchase into our application. So that would be a very big step. So let's just quickly test our app out and see if it's working or not. So for this purpose, I was thinking I will just make a post, and then we would know that if okay, so the loader was appearing, that's a good thing. Basically what we would do now is that we could go to new post, they can select the hero image. The hero image should be this movie. Now we can have some random letters here. Budget should be like 20 bucks. Rating should be 5 star for everything. I mean, it was a good movie. So let's just select a cafe image. Do we have a cafe image? We do have some photos of food and everything. We can write chicken burgers. Now we can select a stay image. For the stay image, we can actually select these clouds or something. This looks fine. We can say clouds. Must carry things should be butter and water bottle. And let's just add a post. It's making the loader, so this is a good step. Now I'm expecting that once the loader finishes, which we would see an alert box. So let's just wait for it and see that if that happens or not. So okay, we do have a success. Upload post was successful, so that is a cool thing. What I was thinking is that this alert is a bit, packed. So this is not exactly what I would like. What you can do is that we can go to our custom alert view controller. Here we have our container view, which should be somewhere here. Let's just check for our configure container. We have given it a height anchor and a width anchor. Let's give it 350 or something. This might look better on it. So yeah, this was there. And does it not have a proper text, or did I just um, it just cropped it out? So okay, it's successful. This is fine. So we can click on OK. Now we can go back, and it successfully made the API call and it is fetching everything up. This all looks amazing. So yeah, I love this thing. What we can do now is that we can actually work on the home feed, so we can see these posts on a larger screen. That means one more thing is that we would need to make changes to the UI of these posts so that they could look better. And yeah, so after that our app would majorly be complete in functionality wise, and then we can move forward to other stuff. So thank you for watching this video, and again, if you have any kind of doubt, you could just leave down your doubts in the comments. I would be very happy to help you, and I hope to see you in the next video.